You know that feeling you get sometimes when you're working on something creative and your brain becomes super focused on what you're doing? Doesn't really matter what it is. You could be designing, editing a photo or a video, writing, composing music, maybe doing an illustration or drawing, whatever it may be. In that moment, the ideas in your head are coming to you so clearly and quickly that you're almost afraid to stop. I sometimes feel that way, especially when I'm feeling relaxed and I'm in the zone, listening to music and editing images. I mean, it's awesome. I love being there. But it's also a little weird because when I get into that state of mind, it's like I'm no longer thinking about the tools or the software that I'm using. It almost feels like my hands are just moving independently on their own without my brain consciously telling them what to do. I wouldn't know, but my assumption would be that it must be something similar to what a musician experiences when they are no longer thinking about the notes and the chords they are playing or even what they're doing with their hands and are instead just playing music. I just love getting into that state of mind, and I bet a number of you out there watching this video probably know exactly what it is that I'm talking about. So here's the thing. A few months ago, I started thinking more about this. I started thinking, how can I be proactive about this? What are the things that are in my control that I can change in order to make getting into that creative state easier and faster? What are the things that I can upgrade and change or replace in my workspace or my desk or the hardware or tools that I'm using? Well, as evidenced by this video, I feel like I've made some progress, which is good. My workspace isn't perfect. I'm not sure if it ever truly could be, but it is definitely better. So today in this video, what I'm going to do is I'm going to share with you everything I've upgraded, everything I've changed over the past few months in order to create a better creative workspace. Good to see you, glad you're here. My name is Todd. Let's begin with what I consider to be the least glamorous item that you're going to see in this entire video. It is something I'm not proud of at all, and that is my desk, which actually is not a desk, but rather a glass table that my wife and I bought like over 15 years ago. We've had it forever. Actually, my kids used it as like an arts and crafts table for a number of years when they were younger, and there's like paint on the aluminum legs and everything, but it does the job. It holds things up, right? I mean, that's what you want a desk to do. But the thing I really do not like about this table is not so much its appearance or anything like that, but the fact that it has a glass top. Now, I can't stand working on glass because it's cold. There's something almost kind of like wet feeling about it, if you know what I mean, when you're working on it. So I was absolutely thrilled when a company called Grovemade reached out to me recently, and they sent me an extra large merino wool felt desk mat. This mat is soft, it's beautiful, and it covers nearly the entire glass surface on the top of the table. So along with the felt mat, I also picked up more items from Grovemade, including a walnut pen cup here, which replaces the sad old espresso tin that I had been using to hold the same items. And then I also got a matching walnut headphone stand over here. Gives my Audio-Technica headphones here just a nice place to sit and a defined place to be when they're not in use. Next item I replaced was my computer. Before, I had been using a late 2017 iMac, and it was generally okay, but it was also really slow when editing and encoding 4K video. Now, for context, I have been using Apple computers since, well, before mice and color monitors. Yes, really. So no surprise here. I upgraded to another Apple computer, except this time I purchased a 16 gigabyte M1 Mac Mini. I have to say, I am pleasantly surprised with this little machine. The M1 processor is surprisingly fast, and I feel like it just keeps getting better as more M1 native apps are released. Ports are unfortunately rather limited on the back, just a couple of Thunderbolt and USB ports, so just about everything I use is connected to a separate hub. That hub is the CalDigit TS3. It is a 15-port Thunderbolt 3 dock that pretty much provides everything the Mini does not. And what I really like, unlike my previous iMac when I was constantly reaching around the back of it in order to plug in SD cards and headphones, this CalDigit here has front-facing ports for both. And I especially like the spring-loaded SD card slot on the front. I use that thing all the time. For optimum speed when I'm editing video, I use 2 external SSD drives, a 2 terabyte SanDisk drive containing the projects I'm currently working on, and a separate 1 terabyte SanDisk drive that I use to hold proxy video files in order to speed up my workflow when editing 4K video in Adobe Premiere. Now the Mini obviously does not have a display, you have to buy one separately for it, but instead of buying another Apple display, which are the types of displays I've always used in the past, I have gone off-brand and I am now using a display made by BenQ, which is the SW271C. This is a 27-inch 4K hardware color calibrated display. And not only is this BenQ more color accurate for creative work, but the screen can switch color spaces too between sRGB, Rec 709, ProPhoto RGB, Adobe RGB, and more, which is perfect for me because I may be editing photos 1 minute, video the next, or I could be making prints of my photography. In full disclosure, I want you to know that BenQ did provide me with this display in return for a product review, which I posted here on my channel a few months ago. I'll link to it up here above if you're interested. But in general, the reason why it's here and the reason why I'm including it in this video is because I actually use it. It's because I think it's a great display. I've been using it ever since I reviewed it. So on top of the display up here is actually another BenQ product, and that is the Screen Bar Plus. And that is a simple, clean LED light powered via USB. It plugs into the side of the display, and it illuminates my desk here without shining light on the screen. And I feel like it's like the perfect amount of light. It just kind of provides a nice, soft, ambient light in this workspace here. And it doesn't take up any room on the desk. I actually don't have any additional room here for a desk lamp or anything like that. It just sits up there on the monitor, out of the way, very clean, very minimal, really, really nice amount of light. Very much enjoy that. Now, like many of you, I'm sure music is just a critical part of just getting into that creative zone, of getting into that headspace. So when I'm not wearing headphones and listening to music, I'm using these speakers that you see here to the left and right of the display. These are speakers and matching speaker stands that are made by Kanto. Now the speaker stands are actually like almost over-engineered and designed. Like they're made of solid metal, very durable, surprisingly well made. I thought they were going to be kind of more plasticky, but they are, they can hold quite a lot, and they easily hold these little white cube speakers that are also made by Kanto. Now I love the minimal aesthetic, the clean design, and the white exterior of these little speakers here. And sound quality, they're fine. I mean, they're not great by any means, but they, for the price, they definitely do the job. The only thing I really don't like about these Kanto 2 speakers is the fact that this one over here has a bright blue LED light that is always on, even when the computer is off and all that, it's always on. So I'm thinking about getting like some white electrical tape and just covering that thing up. All right, now let's move on and talk about the keyboard. The keyboard that I use is as space gray Apple extended keyboards. And I like the extended keyboards because these keyboards actually have, full-sized keys on them compared to the smaller Apple keyboards that have like half keys. And I also just really like the minimal like black and gray kind of aesthetic that they have going on here. Oh, and of course, the keyboard is currently sitting inside of a walnut tray, another product that is made by GroveMade. Now, I have to admit, at first, when I first got this thing, I kind of thought, this might be just one of those fancy kind of decorative things. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but I didn't think it actually served a purpose, but I was actually wrong. The keyboard, when you place it inside of here, it kind of lifts up at an angle in the back. It's just a little bit higher in the back so that when you're typing, the keyboard kind of tilts towards you a little bit. And it's also really nice because of this cork interior that's in here. I'm hitting myself in the face with the keyboard because it has this cork interior inside of here. And so when the keyboard's inside of it and you're typing, it gives it just a nice cushion and just makes the keyboard feel a little more grounded. Plus, I just think it looks cool. So to the right of the keyboard is a new mouse. I replaced the basic Apple Magic mouse, I think is what they call them. Anyway, got rid of that and I replaced it with a Logitech MX Master 3 for Mac. Now, I used to use multi-button mice all the time back in the day, and I kind of drifted away from them for a time, and but now I'm back using one again, and I just think this mouse is awesome. It's comfortable, it features multiple programmable buttons on it, but the thing that I like most about it is this horizontal scroll wheel on the side here, which I can use to scrub video timelines in Premiere, and I can also zoom in and out of images in Photoshop as well. Now, also for the past few weeks, let me unplug it here, is something else that I've been testing out, and that is this TourBox Neo in preparation for an upcoming review here on my channel. This TourBox Neo is basically like the Logitech mouse over here on steroids because it has multiple programmable buttons on it. It's got wheels and knobs and dials all over it. And well, if that review is currently available and you'd like to find out what I think about it after I have more time to use it, I'll link to that video up here above. Otherwise, if it's not out yet, consider subscribing to my channel so you can see that review in the future. Now, everyone knows the pain of losing unsaved work when the power goes out, right? It's just no fun at all. So I upgraded my surge protector to a new model. This one made by CyberPower. It is the 625 VA. It's not the best. I mean, there are more expensive models with bigger batteries and more features, and they also cost a lot more. But for me, the price was right, and this particular unit provides about 10 minutes of battery power that automatically kicks on when the power goes off. And that 10 minutes gives me enough time to, save my work, close applications, and do all of that. And it's not like I'd be able to use the internet anyway if the power went out, because the internet would be down. And so 10 minutes for me is honestly more than enough. I really didn't need more than 10 minutes anyway. So for me, this was a good purchase. And then finally, before we go, although it's anything but new, an important part of a productive, comfortable desk setup is a chair, right? Well, the chair that I'm currently sitting in is not new. As a matter of fact, it is almost 20 years old. It is an Aeron made by Herman Miller. Now, I would bet you've probably seen videos from other people, I know I have, talking about the importance of buying a good desk chair, investing in a quality desk chair because of how much time you end up sitting in one. While that's definitely true, a lot of times the chairs in those videos I've noticed are brand new, whereas, the one I'm sitting in here is almost 20 years old and it is still going strong. So if you're looking for proof, well, here's the example that you're looking for. Still going strong. I'm probably gonna end up using it for years to come. So my advice, if you're looking for a desk chair, just look for one that is not only good quality, but one that has a more timeless design, I would say, that will age well, something you're not gonna get sick of in like 5-10 years, or it's going to clash with other things that you own. Just get a good chair and it will reward you for many years to come. In closing, everything that I shared in this video just adds up to a creative desk setup that for me it's faster, it's more comfortable, and I feel like visually it's just more harmoniously designed than it was before, which in turn helps me feel more motivated and more creatively inspired every time I sit down to work. Hope you enjoyed the tour. If you did, please take a moment and give this video a thumbs up below. And if you have any questions, feel free to ask. Also, check the current price of everything that I talked about in this video. Everything back here behind me. I may actually put in a few additional items I didn't have time to get to. All of that will be linked down below in the video description if you would like to follow up on anything. Thanks so much for being here, everyone. I will see you next week.